What's up guys, long time no see. Finally getting back after it, making some videos. Got a whole bunch of footage before the whole world got put on pause. So got lots of stuff. Keep in mind all these games that I was playing in, these tournaments I was going and playing are a few months ago. I'll have exact dates in the actual video. But yeah, just wanted to let you know what was going on. Gonna jump into some tournament hands here in just a minute. Recently just riding this thing out, trying to see what's going to happen, how much longer things are going to be shut down. Been working from home for almost a month now. Been playing online on Poker Bros and on Global Poker. It's a weird time for poker and just like society in general. It's spring. It's the weirdest spring ever. It's just super weird. No NBA playoffs about to start. No baseball about to start. This is Cardinal country. Like, I'm in Springfield, Missouri. This is where the Springfield Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals AA affiliate plays. Like, there are no games, there's nothing happening. Gonna jump into some hands, go over a tournament I played. We got some cash game hands coming up from a couple cash game sessions. I've got a deep run in an online tournament. I've got the Run Good opening event vlog coming up. That one's gonna be really cool, so get excited for that. Vlog number 16, let's go. Well guys, we are on our way to play a home game in Springfield, Missouri, and we are running late, as usual. Give you an update once we get in there. Hopefully we can still get a seat. So let's keep in mind as we jump into some hands here in just a minute that this is a Hyper Turbo tournament that we're going to be going over first. It's going really fast, so gonna have to play kind of wild and crazy like everybody else is playing wild and crazy. If we get lucky, we can build up a chip stack. If not, it was a free roll, so we don't really have to care too much. Yeah, so pretty much standard short stacked fast tournament play. Gonna have to be all in a lot, looking to build up some chips. If we build up chips fast enough, then maybe we can play a little bit deep or get to pressure some short stacks. If it comes down to bubble play, if we can put some like ICM pressure on them. For those of you who don't know what ICM is, it's basically the pressure to not get knocked out of a tournament but right before you make the money, or when their money jumps in play. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop into this vlog, taking you on the road, and here we go. So this session started out playing a free roll tournament. It's $10 buy-in, so basically a free roll, $1,000 prize pool, 2 tables. So like 18 people, I think, play in the tournament. It was a turbo. It went really quick. Got a few hands from it. So first one, look down at Queen 5 from the big blind, playing 5,100. I think we have about 5K to start this hand. Flop middle pair, action checks all the way down through the entire board, flop turn river. I somehow take it down, so that was pretty nice. Hand number 2, I open to 1,000 from the cutoff with ace queen of hearts. The big blind calls. Flop comes down king 9-3 with I think 1 heart. I bet 1,100 and the big blind just folds. So not too exciting of a hand. We just take it down. After that, things continue to escalate. We're playing 501K. I think I have about 8K or something like that, maybe. So I've got 8 big blinds. I go ahead and shove all in pre-flop with pocket jacks after seeing a shove and a call ahead of me for similarly small stacks. Pretty excited. See a 10 high flop. So we're still looking good. Son of a bitch. Ace on the turn, and we are out of the tournament, and it's time for some cash games. So now that the quick little free roll tournament is over, unfortunately without a positive result for us, let's jump into some hands. So the first cash game, or some cash game hands. The first cash game hand, I think it was one of the very first hands, like when the table started. I look down at pocket nines from the small blind, start off with 300, playing 1-3, so pretty standard. Only 6 people at the table so far, which is fine. I don't mind playing a little bit of 6 max. Anyway, under the gun opens to 15, and I make the call. And it goes heads up to a flop of 10-7-6, so pretty reasonable flop for my hand. I go ahead and check, and then he checks right behind. I'm gonna expect him to check quite a bit here. He's gonna be opening up a lot of like aces and stuff like that, where he doesn't connect on that flop, so that's whatever. Turn is 5, he checks, I go ahead and lead out for 25. I think he's going to continue with a lot of his range here and try to improve. The river is a jack. I go ahead and check, and he checks behind, so apparently didn't have ace jack because I show down my hand and I'm good, so take that one down. Hand number 2, I look down at pocket 7s from the cutoff. It's a straddle pot. We start the hand with around 380. There are 2 limpers, and I make it 20 to go, and we end up seeing the flop 4-handed. Flop is a pretty good one for pocket 7s. Flop is 8-6-2. The action checks to me. I go ahead and c-bet for 35, and only the big blind calls. The turn is a 10. I decide to slow down here, which I don't think I like too much, but I guess I don't hate it because he can have a decent amount of like jack 10 that's going to continue and stuff like that, or king 10 that he called with, or like I think he can have a decent amount of 10s in his range. Anyway, I think this could be a bet or a check. Anyway, we both check. The river's a 5. We both check again. I show my hand and somehow I'm good. So I'm not really sure what he could have had there. Maybe queen jack or something like that. But anyway, we will take it. So the next hand, we just got moved tables. I think we were still playing somewhere between 5 and 7-handed. So we were a little bit short, but not too crazy. Anyway, this hand, I'm on the button. I start off with about 450 in front of me. I look down at 8-6 of spades, so a decent hand. There is an under the gun straddle. I end up calling this $6 straddle, and we go 3 ways to a flop. So I called the straddle, one other player called the straddle. Don't remember what position he was in. Flop is we'll say it's a decent one for us. The flop is 7-5-4, so I flop the nuts with 2 clubs. Anyway, I check, obviously. Cutoff goes ahead and bets 15. I decide to raise to 45, which in hindsight I don't like. I guess I did that because there were 2 clubs on board. I'm not really sure what else I was afraid of. I mean, it's a pretty wet flop and everything, but I flopped a nut, so could probably just chill a little bit. Anyway, he makes the call. The other player folds, so all right. The turn is a 5, not of clubs, so insta pair the board. Not super pumped about that, but since I took the lead with that check raise, I have to bet my hand now. And so I go ahead and bet 50, and the cutoff makes the call. So I'm pretty hyped to not get raised there, obviously, because if I do, like, full house alarm bells are going off, and I'm probably going to lose a huge one. Anyway, so thank God he just calls. River is a 9 of spades, so the flush doesn't get there. I still have the nut straight, but we're not feeling, I don't know, feeling a little bit weird. Got a bet though, so I bet 75, which seems like it would be a little bit on the small side, and he makes the fold. So I guess I bet 75 here, trying to get a call from, I don't even know what. I'm sure he just had a naked flush draw most of the time here, like maybe almost always. So anyway, he folds and we take that one down, so things are going well. So after that, I look down at 7-5 of diamonds from the button and decide we're about to play another suited 2-gapper. So anyway, start the hand off with about 550. I call an under the gun open, the under the gun open to 15, so that's a pretty standard size in this game. And the big blind also calls. So the flop is I guess a good one, as good as you can really expect for 7-5 of diamonds. Flop is ace high with 2 diamonds. So I'm like, all right, big blind checks. Under the gun bets 40. I go ahead and make the call, and the big blind just insta ships it in for 300. And so I have a very straightforward fold here. I'm best case scenario going to be up against, well, hell, I don't even know. I'm probably going to be up against an ace So I guess that is the best case scenario, or I'm likely to be up against bigger diamonds and a jack, or bigger diamonds and an ace. So like, this is just a big yikes. We are out of here, so we gone. Okay, so after that, I look down at king, queen in the small blind, starting this hand with like 500-ish. I go ahead and open to 20 after some limps, I'm sure, and get 2 callers. So, all right, not that crazy. The flop comes down, an interesting one for me. The flop is ace, queen, 5. So, I flop middle pair. I decide to go ahead and c-bet and kind of represent the ace. I don't think I like that at all. I think I should be checking here. Anyway, I bet 35 and get 1 caller. So, all right, whatever. Turn is the 8 of spades, so doesn't really change anything. There were 2 diamonds on the flop, and I believe that I had the queen of diamonds. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, I check. He bets 55. I should just insta fold. I think, like, yeah, I just think I should fold, but I don't. I call. River is the 2 of diamonds, so completes the front door flush draw, which I do not have. He seems slightly convinced that I did have it because we end up both checking, but I don't think there's any chance he would have folded because he shows us ace-queen for a flopped top 2 pair, played pretty oddly, and a little bit odd that he didn't 3-bet me pre-flop, but in the game that I've been playing, well, or the game that I was playing then, and the game that I've been playing now, people are flatting ace-king pre-flop, queens pre-flop. Like, I haven't seen, like, nobody 3-bets. So anyway, that's a subject for another video, but yeah. So anyway, lose that hand, feel like I played it pretty bad, pretty disgusted, don't play like that. Next hand, I look down at pocket aces, so that's pretty nice. Under the gun, so that's not so nice. And I start the hand with like 400. So I open to 15 and get called by the cutoff and the big blind. At this point, we're playing 5-handed, so pretty short-handed, kind of weird. Flop comes down, a very safe-ish looking one, jack 8-2. The big blind checks, I bet 25, and the cutoff calls. So, all right, seems pretty standard. Turns a 5, I bet 45, he calls again. The river is 10, I go ahead and, despite that not being the best card, fire out 70. The cutoff calls and just insta-mucks his cards as soon as I flip my hand over, so feeling pretty good. So the next hand, we look down at a very premium holding. We got pocket queens in the big blind, and we're starting the hand with about 450. I make it 15 to go pre-flop and get 2 callers. And at this point, we're playing 4-handed, so some people must have gotten up from the table. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure how it ended up like that, but we were playing 4-handed. So anyway, get 2 callers, and we're headed to see the flop. Flop comes down jack high, so a pretty wet flop, kind of weird. Small blind checks. I go ahead and bet 45 as my overpair and get 1 caller. The turn is the 3 of diamonds, so no more, does not complete the front door flush draw. I check, and my opponent goes ahead and puts out a bet of 55. I don't think I can fold here, but alarm bells should have been going off. I guess they didn't. Anyway, the river is the 2 of clubs. Seems like, I mean, I do have the queen of clubs, so I'm blocking some flush draws. So I think that played into my decision. But anyway, he bets 100, and I end up making the call. I don't like the call. Maybe I'm being a little bit results oriented, but with the flush draw coming in, even though I have a club blocker, people don't bluff the river very much, and people don't bluff the river very much in live games, and people don't bluff the river very much in this game. So anyway, I make the call. He shows us the nut straight. He's got queen 9 offsuit. Seems like kind of a loose call by him pre-flop, but not that crazy. And since we're playing 4-handed, like, nothing's that bad. So I don't really know. But I do know that I hate my call there. It's just I'm not gonna be right often enough for that to be profitable. So anyway, we lose a pretty big one, make a very questionable river call, in my opinion. On to our last hand of the vlog. We look down at ace 4 of hearts, under the gun +2. We're playing full ring now.
So the like 2 tables combined, we might have even been playing 10-handed, which God, I must have been miserable if I was playing 10-handed. Anyway, this is a session from quite a while ago, so all the details are not perfect in my mind of what was going on. Just like I know, like I have the hands written down, obviously. So anyway, under the gun +2 with ace-4 of hearts, start the hand with about 215 after that disaster pocket queen's hand. I call an early position open to $15, and it goes 6 ways to the flop. So with a suited ace like this, can't complain too much. That, you know, the actions go multi-way. Basically, I'm looking to hit something crazy or flush and try to win a big pot. Pretty good flop for that objective. Flop comes down queen high with 2 hearts. The under the gun player, who was the initial raiser, if I remember correctly, bets 50. I have about 200 left. I think there's one caller. And yes, there's definitely one caller. I go ahead and put the maximum squeeze on and go all in. The action ends up folding to him, and he just snap calls, like insta calls. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess he flopped a set or something like that. Like, we're not in a great spot. No, that's not what happened. He just had ace queen off and was just like hyped to just make the call on that board with that many people seeing the flop. Like, I was very surprised that he just like insta called, but he did. And of course we brick off the turn and we brick off the river. So no love there. We end up not cashing the tournament and losing our buy-in playing cash. So not our best night. Not our best night. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm gonna go eat these depression donuts. They're delicious. See you next time.